This is a common handheld pH meter. On the left is the probe, and on the right, the meter itself. Before using a pH meter, you will need to calibrate it using 3 buffer solutions of pH 4, 7, and 10. You will be inserting the probe of the meter into these solutions, so it is a good idea to transfer them into smaller containers so as not to contaminate the originals. To use the pH meter properly, you will also need Kim wipes, a squirt bottle of deionized water, a bucket, and a sample whose pH you wish to test. In this case, our sample is a medium in which we tried to grow algae. However, contrary to our predictions, nothing grew whatsoever. So we are going to test the medium's pH to see if anything went wrong during its preparation. If the solution is much too acidic or much too basic, that could be the reason that we didn't see anything growing. We have transferred some of the medium to a smaller container for testing. First, turn on the pH meter by pressing the power button. Then carefully unscrew the cap from the probe, being careful not to spill any of the liquid inside. Use your squirt bottle filled with deionized water to gently clean off the probe. Make sure to be extra careful when cleaning off the bottom of the probe. Then gently wipe off the excess water using a Kim wipe. Once the pH meter has finished powering on, press the Calibrate button. At this point, it will direct you to test the first calibration buffer. The pH meter is pre-programmed to calibrate using buffers of pH 4, 7, and 10, so you must test the buffers in that order only. Uncap the test tube filled with the buffer of pH 4 and insert the probe. Then press Read. It will take a few moments for the meter to calibrate, at which point it will be ready for the second calibration buffer. Remove the probe from the first buffer and rinse it off again. Then place it into the second buffer. Press Read again and wait another few seconds. Repeat the same procedure for the third calibration buffer. When the calibration is finished, the pH meter should signal Calibration OK. At which point you may remove the probe from the final buffer, rinse it off again, and now uncap the sample whose pH you want to test, and carefully insert the probe. Press Read and wait for the measurement to stabilize. The word Stable should appear on the pH meter screen once it has reached a final measurement. As you can see, we have determined that the growth medium's pH is 2.94. This pH is extremely acidic, and is probably the reason that we didn't see any algal growth. Now we know that something went very wrong during the medium's preparation, and that we should try making it again or use a different recipe. Now you can remove the probe from your sample, wash it off, and replace the cap. Finally, power off the pH meter.